So getting into how I built an editable grid in Power Apps, let's look at it. Execute. So here's the scrollable data. See each row, I can't actually edit it or click it until I hit the pencil icon. Now the field becomes editable. I can put whatever I want in there, hit save. See, it's saving the data. Little icons running across the top of the screen. I can click the pencil icon. I can hit save, but no changes, nothing happens. It shortcuts that process. You don't see the activity back to the server. I can hit the cancel, also nothing back to the server. If I change a field and I hit cancel, you see the field is reset to its previous state. Just so you can see the data is actually saved to the database or to Dynamics. This is reloaded from Dynamics. You can see the change I made is still active. So how did we do that? So the grid itself, the grid rows itself are actually just a gallery. So this background here is just a label with a slight blue tint. The header is also just a dark label with several labels that are in white text. And I sent the dark blue background to the back. So let's just move that out of the way. Reload accounts is just a label, and the icon next to it just calls refresh accounts. So inside this row, since this is a repeating row for all the rest, let's look at these fields. So if you go create a gallery, so let's just create a new screen and have it blank screen, and insert a gallery, vertical, and say it's accounts, and say it's title only. And close that. So if this is your actual gallery, all I really did, see, these are all labels, so they're not really editable, but in this row I could insert a text input field. And just like this is the default value for that text input field, I could say the default value is the same thing. And if I zoom in, you can see they're actually the same thing. This is the label, this is the field I just added. So in my version of the editable grid, everything I have is actually just a text field. So, that's one example. Let's say I wanted to have the account name. I could change that to name. Right? So that's how you do the layout of the field. So you just keep adding them, you change the value of what you want to be in that particular field. If I go back to my original screen, so in my first field I just put the account name. In my second field I put the account city, state, country, telephone number. So how do I show, or how do I allow this field to be edited or not edited? Let's start with the pencil icon and what happens when you actually click it. So I actually update context, which creates a local variable to this screen only, and I call that variable edit record. And what I store in edit record is the actual GUID for the account ID of the row I'm on. Okay? So if you look at each of these fields, these text fields, and you look at their display mode property, it basically says if display mode, if this item's account number is equal to the account number that was selected when somebody clicked the pencil icon, then change the display mode to edit. Otherwise, the display mode should be view only. So when I click that pencil icon, I set the account ID to be the account ID for this item.account ID. So for each one of these fields, this is going to be a true if statement. And when it is a true if statement, the display mode changes to edit. When it is a false statement, the display mode changes back to view. So when this account ID is not what's stored in edit record, these are all going to be view only. So I showed you the edit icon, which was that one right there, the pencil. And I also have a save icon, which is actually in the exact same location, but its visible property is set to false. So what happens with the save icon? When I click save icon, I actually I update the context so edit record is an empty string. So because that becomes an empty string, all of these fields now are view only. The display mode immediately changes to view. And then I call a patch formula to update accounts where the account ID is the account ID for this row, this item.account ID, and I update these fields, the name, the address city, the address state, the zip code, the telephone number. I send all those in as a patch. So that's how I actually save the data, through a patch command. And then the only other icon I have is cancel. So what happens with cancel? Again, I do the same thing similar to what I do with save. I update the edit record variable to be an empty string, which changes all these fields to be display mode view. And then I reset all of the fields, which I've named appropriately. Account name label, city label, state label, country label, telephone label. It resets them all, which means whatever changes you made there, it's going away. It's going to go back to what its previous state was. So how do I show or hide the icons? Very similar to what I did with the fields here. So let's start with the pencil. So if I look at the visible property, I say if this item's account ID is set to what I set with the edit record, then don't show this. So as soon as I click the pencil icon and I set the update the context with the edit record to be the account ID, the visible property is going to be changed to false. So you click the edit button goes away, the edit icon goes away, and then for save and cancel, I do the exact opposite. So if this item's account ID is equal to edit record, I want you to show the visible icons. So when edit's clicked, it goes away. Save and cancel visibility property is set to true. When you click save and cancel, because I'm setting edit record back to an empty string, it does the exact opposite. Pencil icon comes back. Save and cancel go away. So that's really just how it works. It's not much to it really, but it does make a good demo. So thank you for watching.